methods, functions, and access modifiers. Access modifiers will play an important role, starting from the method itself. Method, and even if you go for the class, when we create an object oriented, there also method will play an important role. Sorry, access modifier will play an important role. So giving the accessibility, who can use it, who can allow, to whom we can allow it. So access modifier are basically of four major types like public, private, protected, and internal. Okay. If you are selecting the public, public means anyone can use it. Even if you're sharing the assembly is a public and your method is public, anyone can use it. Protected is within the project. Private within the class. We cannot access even the different class also. Okay. So return type in the sense what we are returning. If you're calling a method and what is the return type of the method. If you're returning a method, what data type is that? It is an integer, it is a data type, of which data type that we have to mention in the return type. Method name is a unique, you can keep any respective name which is related to your logic, which is related to your code. You can use any name, but you cannot use a reserved keywords like what are predefined codes like integer, data types, class name. What are predefined are defined in the libraries that we cannot use it. Parameter again an optional. If you are sending a parameter to the method, what parameters you are sending that we have to mention. Just like a quick revision. Okay, methods and we can just use syntax. Syntax is access specifier we have to mention, return type, function name. Just here, if you miss the class, just you can see this small example. If you miss the previous class, here in the small example, you can see. Okay, today again we will be discussing about the method itself. You will get an idea. Okay. Methods, we have the method with the return type, method without return type. If you are not returning anything in the return type, then the return type will be the void. Void in the sense the method is not returning back. Okay, it is just calling from the main function. After calling, it is not returning back. It is calculating values here itself. Means there is no return value. It will return to the main function, but the value is there. It is not giving any value. It is void. It is not returning anything. Okay. This is example. This I have already shared it. Overloading. Just will start in. Yeah. This is about the. Okay. This is a previous class example. Previous session example. What we have did for the calculating the total. Right. We want to calculate what we have did. We have taken the variables, assigned the default values, and we did the calculation in the previous session. Right. Here we did the calculations. Okay. This we take the backup. In previous class we have hard coded the values and we passed it. Today we will see that functions within the functions and how we are passing the values which we are reading from the keyboard, which is we are reading from the user, what the user has given in the input. That values we will read and will pass. And in the previous session we had discussed only about the one function. So here we will see about function within the function. That function is calling another function. So first we'll calculate for some marks. We'll take subject. Why it is giving error? Because I'm within the same variable name. Variable name has to be unique. Okay, we cannot use the same variable in the different declaration. While declaring the variable name has to be unique. Okay, subject 1. And given the C# is case sensitive. The capital subject and the small object. So subject it will take it as a different variable. So it's a case sensitive language. What we did, we are assigning the values here itself, right? Subject 1 equal to 55, whatever. Then we are making the calculations. Now what we will do, we will create a function. To read the values. Okay, so what will be the function name? Get student marks. This is a function. I'm creating the function where I need to get the dynamic values from the user, not the static. Whatever the user enters the values that I want to read, and that I don't want to make that in the main method, so it will be very lengthy and again for if you are doing the different calculations, it will be less to confusion. So we will make it the small groups. Now small methods will create. For the reading, we'll create separate function. For calculating, we'll create separate function. Okay. So we will pass the parameters. I'm going to get the marks for the this subject. Okay, so that we need to pass a parameter for how many subjects we need to get. Okay, parameter. Why I am passing the parameter? Because I have declared the parameters in the main method. If I have not declared the parameters in the main method, then we can initialize. We can declare the values in the subfunction also, in the methods also. Here it will go for the wide because we are not returning anything. This function is returning anything? No, it is not returning anything. Why? Because we are reading only the values. We are getting the values. Okay. We have to mention data types in the method calling function. Okay, and there's some small clarification I want to make. In the previous class, even I got confused, I said that parameters and the arguments both are same aside. Okay, if you say the common words, if you generally we can say it's the same, but technically if you see that the values what you're passing, that is known as an arguments. Means where you're passing the values, where you're passing the calling function from main function, you're calling this function, right? So where you're passing, that will be an argument. Those for those parameters they will call as an arguments, and which is receiving it has a value, because receiving has a value. This is called as an parameters. Okay, if you go to any articles or if you go for any online resources, they will say arguments for this and the parameters for the called function. Okay, at the end both are same, both are the parameters, you can say both are within the method parameters. Methods what are the value passing the values, but in the more technical ways, in the main function what you're passing and value, where you're sending the values, that is called as an argument. Like the receiving end, which value is receiving, right? Which values, whatever you initialize values here, that values we are receiving here. So as the receiving end, there is known as parameters. So calling is the argument and receiving end, these are called as parameters. There's a small difference. Okay, so here what we're doing, we got the variables. For this variable, I need to write a code to read the value from the user. Okay. What we do? Get the marks. Okay. Just a minute. This mouse is getting hang, so that I'm trying to do this. Okay. Yeah. Just retype this account. What we want. Enter the marks. Subject. Okay, for which I want, first I want for subject. How we are going to read? This all in the integer, right? Because all the subjects are in integer. So we cannot directly go for the console.readline because console.readline is an by default it will accept only the string values. For that we need to convert that to integer. So convert dot to int will go, and here we go for the console.readline. Okay, fine, we got this. We'll move it little bit quick. Just copy and paste. We'll change the variable name. Subject 1, subject 2. So what we're doing here, we are reading the values from the user's input. Whatever the user is giving dynamically, that we are accepting the values. Okay. So the first purpose of this method is done. What is the first purpose? We are getting the values. We are reading the values from the user. Whatever the user is entering the values, that we are reading here. Okay. So just we will see an example here. You can see if we run the code, what will happen? It will read the values. Whatever the values we are entering, that it will read. Okay, so but it will only read, it will not display because we are not making anything for the displaying the code, and we want to do the calculate the some mathematical operations like percentage, average, and total. Okay, so for that, what I need to do now? Do I need to create another function here and the pass the all these values, whatever the user has taken, given the values that I have to read, I have to return back to the main function, and those values I have to again pass for the calculate function, right? So it will be something lengthy again. So when you're going for the methods, go for more optimized. Why you want to go for again the returning the values? What are the you read the values here? Why you want to return to the main function, and that value you're calling another. So instead of making the double calling, instead of going back to the main method, from here itself in the where you're reading the values, here itself we call the another method. We'll call calculate method. Okay, calculate. Calculate the or calculate method. Okay. Here what I will do, here I will pass the values. So it is possible to handle here itself, right? So again, why need to go for the main method? Why you want to return the values, and from main method, why you want to calculate the, why you want to write the function regarding the calculate total. So let's make it simple. So anyhow, we have the values here. We are getting the dynamic values in the get student marks method. Get student marks method. We're getting the values. So from here itself, I will call the method. So no need of going to the main method. Okay. So what happened here? You're calling the method. It's giving an error because still we are not creating the calculate method total. Okay. So why? So here we are going to get the same values, right? Whatever the values we have read, that we are going to get. Spelling is different, that's the reason it's giving error. Okay. Here what we got, here we are getting the values, what the user has entered, dynamic values we get. So, in these values, there is a no total. Total is not a variable. So, if we try to create a total, it will give an error. Right? because we are not created variable for the total. Even if we are created here like the main function, but we are not passing in the parameters. So that is the reason the we have to create a local variable. Local variable in the sense within the here within the method. This variable will be accessed only within this method, right? So we are creating the local variable calling as a total. This equal to, you can go for the additions. Here if you want, we can display the total here itself in this function, or if you want to return to the main function, there we want to display both, we can do, right? So first we'll go with the first we will go with displaying here. So what we did, we are creating the get student marks method. From that method we are calling another method. So you can call any number of methods within the methods. From one method you can call any number of methods. From this method we can call another method. So there is no limitations for that I want to show you. The purpose of this small example is that we can call methods within the methods. There is no limitations for that. Okay, just we'll go this is a small example. Again here if you want to, we can add the percentage calculations, all those things. And in the previous when we were checking for the if else statement, right, when we were going for the operators, when we were preparing that, there we are seeing we are checking whether the student has passed. If he is passed with the distinction, first class, second class, we are taking the long code there. That will be here, it will be helpful in the methods. Here we can create another method, get the result. What is the result now? So we can create another method, get or display the result. We can create and we can pass here all the values totals here. This you can take you can go for the practice and you can try it yourself. So here what we need to pass in that method, we need to pass the total and percentage, what are the percentage again, and all this values. So you can create in this method, in the display method, what you can do, you can check the condition whether the student has passed in all the subjects. If he's passed all the subjects, then you will check with the percentage. If it's greater than 70, then the distinction, greater than 60 to 70 first class. So all this you can keep on adding the condition in the another method. So this way it is going to help you, right? You're splitting the code in the small sections. It will be very easy to read. Okay, if you want to, main programs comes here. If you want to get student marks, okay, I want to get student marks. If I want to add another subject, I want to read the subject 6. It will be easy for me. Only I need to make a change in this part, in this code, in this method, right? Okay, total, percentage, and this method, everything. If any changes in the I need to make in the percentage calculations, then only this part of the code will be modified. Only this part of the code will be done testing, unit testing. So it will be helpful for you in the many ways. And if you want to get to the displaying the result, we'll take another method. So it will be very easy to understand for the developer to, even the different programmer, if he sees your program, it will be very easy to him. Okay, the name itself says, okay, here he is reading the values, here he is doing the calculation. Okay, display the result. Here he is calculation for the classification of the result, first class, second class, pass or fail. So it is easy to read, easy to modify, and easy to use, right? So it avoids a lot of duplicity. It will improve the coding standards. It will be easy to debug. So using the methods is helpful in the many different ways for the developers itself and even for the test purpose also. It will be very easy to understand. Okay, just we will debug this and we will see how the code is flow. Keep the debugger where you want to start. I'm starting with the get student method. Press F11. If you press the F11, it will go with the method definition. What is the method definition for the get student marks? This is the method definition. It will come to get student marks method. Okay, see what the values it is passing. It is passing the default values for the subjects because we are assigned only the default values. We are not given any hard-coded values. We are trying to take the values from the user's input. Okay. So now we will ask for the subject. See the first work, it is compiled up to the first 3 lines. It is displayed here. Get marks, get marks for the subject one. Okay. Then again it will come to the line 2. Debugger will help you. It will show the line how it is processing line by line. It will show. Okay, now it will come as enter the marks for subject 2 and it will ask you for the marks for the subject 2. Okay. So now what will happen? It is reg here. But for calculating we are creating another method. Again press F11. The one which is pressing F11, it will jump to the definition of this method. So you can see the variables parameters what we got from subject 1, the values whatever we enter, that values it is displaying. So it is passing the values. Again go for the F10, we are creating the local variable called the total. It takes the total here 314 and it is displayed. And we get the result 314 total. And if you observe small observation, when it is called here, when this calculation process done, where it went back to the get student marks total. It came here. From here it came to the main function. Just we'll see again, observing. So it says that the method we are calling after the processing of that subprogram, it will come back to the same position from where it is called. That I want to say. Just we'll quickly enter the marks. Okay, it came to total here, right? Here it will do. See, it came back to calculate total because this from here it is called after doing the calculation, after doing the all the logic whatever you have mentioned. After this works happening, it is came back from where it is called. Okay, from get student marks where it is called from the main method. Here it came back here, then it will continue from the main program again. So definitely starting point is the main program. From main program we are calling the methods. So again after calculating, again it will go back while closing also, it will go back to the main method itself, right? And one more, if you want to return, in some scenarios I say that I don't want to show the calculation here, I want this total in the main function also, I want to return there. Okay, anyhow I will display the result here, I will display the total here, but I want the total in the main function also for other calculation I need for some reasons. So that at that scenario what we need to make, we need to remove this void. As of now we are not returning any values. If you want to return, we will go for the return type is integer. Then return, just you need to pass what is the return type. Okay, here we get it as a, just make it. Okay, so it will return to this function now. From here we have to return it. Okay, if you want in the main function directly from the calculate total, we cannot return to the main function. Why? Because this total, calculate total, is calling from the get student marks. It is not calling from the main method. If I want the total marks in the main function, then first I need to pass the return to the where I call in get student marks. Here I need to return. From here I need to pass. Okay, first we will see whether we are getting the values here. Okay, whether it is returning the value. Quick will process now. Press F10. It is the calculation 354. And what it is returning the values of the return total. Right? Just press and if you get it, you got a value. So it is returning a value here. And then in the same way, I want to return to the main function. Then the same logic. Then here we have mentioned the void. You have to mention the return type. What is the return type? Integer. Because the value is integer. If it is double, you have to make it double. Okay. Whatever the value is the return type, that we have to mention here. And here also the values what we are accepting it, that getter type has to be the same one. Okay. So here is about return returning the value. So we have seen about methods within the method and the return to the method. And if you want to go for returning the values to the main method, then we have to pass to the calling method from where it is called. From there to main method we need to pass. So now we will see about some small another different important types of method. This is about we'll see. Okay. First this I will copy as it is. I'll come to this program again. Just a minute. Okay. That one just will remove. So variable yes, right. I created one method, or you can say it has an test. Here I will pass the value of I. Here I will do. So we create the method. Integer, I take as a j, no issues. Here I will assign j equal to some values. Okay. Even we did have the same in the previous function, previous program also. Where what we did, we take the student values, student subject default, and in the below in the calling method we assign the values, right? There we assign the values dynamically. Here I am assigning the values. See, here I am assigning the values hard coded. For example, for the here picture, subject 1. Okay. Also you can see it is not a hard it's not a fixed rule that if you passing the I'm calling the student test method, it's not necessary that we have to keep the same name can be different, variable name can be different. Okay, because it will pass by the values here. First value what you are sending, that will be second. If you are passing the second values, here like this. Then the second value whatever it will take. So it doesn't mean that if you're calling the subject one, here also we have to mention the subject one. No, it's not like that. You can use another variable name. Okay. So what I have did here, for the simple easy to understand, I will give the same name as it is. Okay. In the main method, I'm assigning the values 0, and in the test method, I'm assigning the values some equal to if it is subject one, we'll assign it something correct. Okay. And it is not returning any values. We'll check the result. We'll keep the debugger and we'll see what will be the output now. Okay, even in the intros they will ask what will be the output for the subject one here. Okay, I'm calling here. I've created the method. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So he came. Initially his default value is 0. I have assigned the values. The subject one value is 89 now. So what will display here? What will be the output now? What will be the output for the subject one? So even in the interview they will ask to know what will be the result for this value. In the main method I have declared it. I declared with the 0. In the test method I have initialized, I have assigned with the values. I have given some value to that variable. Okay. And when you see the result, what will be the result now? Is it 89 or 0? It's a 0, right? It's a 0. Even though the value is assigned, here you can see, first coming to the method, in that method I'm assigning the values, but when I go back, I'm getting the values which is assigned in the main method itself. Means whatever the modification I changed, whatever the modification I made in the method, that value I'm not getting in the main method. Even though for the same variable I've assigned the values, but I'm unable to retain the values for the subject one in the main method. Why it's happening like that? Why it is behaving like that? Why? Because this is called as an pass by value. Means it is passing the values. It is not passing the original location. Only the value is passing. Whatever modification it will make here, it will not reflect to the main variable, because it will not reflect to the original values. Original values remain as it is. So here we are going only by the pass by values. Okay. In some cases I want to return the values whatever I have mentioned here. Okay. So in this one I will let's here what is happening. If you see in this, here I value and j value making a separate copy. Here I is passing as an 10 and j is taking the value as an 10. But it is not pointing, it is making us two separate memory locations here. It is copying the values and passing the values for the subject 1 in the main method and the subject 2 in the main method. For the subject 1 it is creating the separate memory location, and in the sub program, in the sub method, it is creating the different memory location. That's the reason whatever the value you modify here, it will not impact to the main method, main original value, because original value is storing a different memory location there. So this value is not getting impact. Only the whatever the modification will be, whatever you have done, it will be the limited to the sub program. It is limited to the method there itself. Okay, we'll come back here. So if I want to I want to return the values, I want to take the values back to the original, then what we have to make? One option is that we have seen before, we have to return the value. Okay, we have to return the value, make it this integer, and then here I have to make again integer, something like this. Then I can return the values here in this way. Again the separate variable, not in the same variable. You can see here I am making another variable for the return. I am taking it, but I say no, I will not create the another variable, and I will not return the values. Whatever the modification is done in the main method, I want to reflect. Whatever the modification done in the sub method, I want it as it is. I am not going to return it. Okay. In that scenario, what we have to do, see, we have to go for the reference. Ref is a keyword. What the ref it will do? Ref is a keyword. It will point to the same memory locations. Operations of the variable will reflect the values to the other variables also. Means previously it is not sharing the common memory location. Okay. You can see here what it is doing. The memory location is different. The copy for the subject 1 I, it is making different. Yeah, for subject 2 different. If I go with the same naming convention. Main method, right? Here what is happening? Here it is sharing the common memory location. Here what is happening here? You can see this example. Subject 1 in the main and subject 1 in method. Both are pointing to the different memory location. Yeah, both are pointing to the different memory location. That's the reason the modifying values are not reflecting to us. In subject 1 it is 10, in the main method it is 10, and then the same variable you pass into the test method, it will modify the value, but when it is returning back, you will get the 10 only. If you are not using the return, just you modify it there, then you will get the variable for the subject 1 is a 10 itself. We cannot modify there. You will not get the modified values in the main method. Whatever modification you've done, it will be limited to the this method, test method itself, which is limited to the function itself. I want the value, whatever modification you've done, that modified value I need to get in the main method. Then what we have to make here, sorry, you can see this way. Then what we have to make, here it is not pointing to different memory location. Then the solution is that we have to this both has to point to the same memory location, then it is possible, right? Okay, then what is the see this. Yeah, yeah, again we go for things. Here, here somehow I need to make this both need to pass to the single memory location. Single memory location. So the main method work to default values apart from default values. Whatever the value you modify in the test method, then the same value will be the reflecting in the main method. The modified values immediately we are start seeing in the main method. So what we have to make change there, we have to keep only one reference, we have to keep only one copy. In the previous what we are doing, in the pass by value, we are creating separate memory location. For one memory location for the main method, another memory location for the test method. So both are in the different places. So if you modify it in the second place, the first place is not going to reflect. So now I will create only one memory location. Then, so whatever the modification is done, it is easy to reflect. We can see immediately. For that, what we have to go? We have to make some small changes. Right? So before this parameter, sorry, here I need to add ref. Ref is a keyword, reference keyword. So even in the while calling, just before the Gira type, we have to mention the ref. Right? So the error went. What have the test method? I'm calling. I'm using the keyword ref parameter and test method ref keyword just before the Gira type I'm passing. Okay. Now we will see what is the output now. Okay, the default value is 0. I came here, I modified the value by calling 0. I modified that. So what is the subject now? 89. It got modified. So now we have to see that whether this console.writeLine is going to display the value 0 or 89. Plus F10 and run the method. What is the output now? Output is 89. You can see it is not reflected now. Dynamically, whatever it is modifying in the sub method for that variable is reflecting even in the main method. Why? Because we are using the ref keyword, reference keyword. We said that share the common memory location, so that whatever changes you are making, that will be the reflect in the main method. Got it? Yeah. Here you can see that what we did here. Here. Both are pointing to the same memory location here. That's the reason we are able to achieve the reflected modified values, right? So the first one is called as a pass by value. We are passing the value, and this is called as a pass by reference. Okay, even in the standard interview question, they will say, if I want to retain the modified values in the main method, what we will do? The answer is, I will create the method as it is, just I will add the ref keyword before it. Why we need to add the ref keyword before the parameters, before the arguments? Because ref keyword will share the common memory location. When it is sharing the common memory location, whatever changes I made in the method in the sub method, then it will going to reflect the main method also. Without returning, we can see the changes in the main method. That's the advantage of using the reference. Okay, or in some scenarios I don't want to change the original value. I want the original value as it is. Just I want to do some calculation in the sum, do some calculation in the sum method, and just perform there itself. Then we can go for the pass by value. That in that time, this ref keyword is not required. If I want to see dynamically the modified values in the main method also, then we will go for the ref keyword. Okay, now just yeah, so that's the reason this is known as this is called as a pass by value. This is called as pass by reference. This is called as pass by reference. This is a major difference between pass by value and pass by reference. Easy when I will share this in the group, so it will be easy to check. Okay, this is the main difference between the pass by value and the pass by reference. In while total, you are we forced to make the return value, so you convert to the reference, right? Here, if we convert to this reference, then the what we did some for the return values assigning the value, that will be avoided. In this case, we can apply that. That's the reason I stored this. I copied the example what we did for the previous one. Okay, so you got the main concept, right? The concept of using the pass by values and the pass by reference. And one more scenario. We'll go for another scenario now. One more scenario is that what we said, main method will return. Keep in mind, just main method will return only one return values. Okay. For example, I pass here subject 1 and subject 2. Yeah. Okay, yes, I remove this ref now. Just normal I will say. Okay. Here what we did, we are doing the calculation, right? It's a type of integer return type. I'm doing the calculations. I'm doing the total. Here I will make the total equal to this. So what will be the output now? It's a simple method, like we have seen this many times in the previous examples. What's happening? We're passing the method, it is making the sending the parameters with the two values, subject 1 and subject 2, it is making the total and returning the total. That's it. So what's the new thing here? Nothing. nothing, right? So the one thing is we have to remember the return type. When we are returning it, the return will return only one values. We cannot return multiple values here. Here comes the question. So if you see, then in scenario what it is doing, it is came it, it took the two values with the total, return with the addition of 145, and we are displaying the total. Works. So I say, okay, you give the total percent, that's good. I want some in what is it? I want the multiplication of it. Okay, you want this, you click, I want the average of this. Average equal to total divided by. I want total this. I want to display the total also. Sorry, average. I have displaying the total. I need to display the average. Then how you will return this multiple? Here comes the question, because the return type always return only one value. We are happy till total, which is returning the total, and the requirement came, the scenario came, I want to return average also. How will you return this? Do you return by making the comma separated and you will return the value? What will happen? It will throw an error. Code is unreachable. You cannot reach that. Local variable int. It's giving an error. You cannot go for it. Okay, if I remove the total, it will work. Because I'm returning only one value. But I want both. I want to return total marks as well as average marks. So in that case, what is the scenario? How we are going to achieve that? Right? Here comes the confusion. Even this is a very standard interview question they will ask. Standard interview where everyone knows that we can return only one value. When we are returning in some method, then the return will send only one value. But I want to return more than one. I want to return multiple type. How we will going to achieve it? Okay. So for the solution for that is, we have to make again the small change. So here comes the concept of out parameters. Out parameters, you can see this, right? Here comes the concept of out parameters. What are these out parameters will do? What are this? The out parameters will make, I will create comma. First you take the values, data type. Okay, so what we have to do now? We have to say, we have to take the out parameters. Type out. What I need to pass multiple way? Total, comma, out, average. Okay. The same thing I need to create here also in the arguments where I am passing the things, right? Because I am not returning here, I cannot return multiple values, so I will remove the return. So return type is not required, and I will say void. Okay. Method, we are making the calculation. One, sorry, void method name. So subject 1 and subject 2. Here we have to mention the out parameters. So what it is saying? Okay, just note down this. Out will take the total sum and the product, right? Yeah, not y is showing an error. Does not exist in the current form. So okay, we have to mention here itself. integer 0 and average. And then it is saying missing and directive parameters missing and directive. Wait something. Okay, let me check why it's giving an error. Variable name are same, average is same. Okay, subject 1, subject 2 we are passing here. This is correct. Making anything wrong. Out parameter must be assigned before control leaves it saying okay. Assigned before. We have assigned here. Some assigning we are getting error. We'll see each the same. Some out value parameters. Out parameter must be assigned before introduce the current method. We need to assign the values here again. I don't think so. Yes, we don't. This one. This will go with the 1 1. Okay, so let's see if the let's mix something. Okay, do we need to assign here integer? I don't think the way it's giving better. Just let me check. Where is not the proper way. See the where. This is not the right way. Just let me refresh it once. Out parameters means we are using the parameters. We can pass the multiple return types. Go for this. We'll see. Here we're making the output is correct. Do we need to assign this? Not it. Okay, again the silly mistake, just what we did before. We have to assign the gear type also. I was thinking I am assigning here, so it is not required. No, it's wrong concept. We have to assign the data type. Sometimes these small errors will lead to the big things. Okay. Here, okay, the same thing. Here we go for this. Okay, now what we did, sorry, I forgot to say that when we write the out here, again we need to mention the parameter data type. That's a very basic thing, right? We give the previous examples also. When we are calling here, we have to mention like the same. Subject 1, what is the data type? Subject 2, what is the data type? Even for the out parameters also, we have to mention the data type. And before the data type, whatever we are returning, like a total and average, that we have to mentioned for the out. And you can see there is a no return type here. There is no return. We have made it as void. Why we have removed the return type? Because the return type is returning only one value. We want to go with the multiple values now. I want to return multiple values. Then the return type concept doesn't come into the picture. We will handle it with the out parameters. In parameters, these are the two input values, and these are the two output values that I have to mention with the prefix. Better to use the word prefix before the direct type. What you are using, what you are returning. Total, integer, variable, prefix of the direct type out. I want to return average, direct type, prefix of the direct type out parameter. And even when in the main program where you're calling, there also we have to mention out what are the parameters name. You have to use it. So control of C here, mention average. Got it? Okay, we will see whether it is going to return two values or not. Every time go with the debugger, even if it is a small program, it will easy to handle the things. So here you can see the input variable 89 and 56. This will be the default values. What is the default value? 0. I click the total, I click the average, again press F10, and you can see we return the value 145. Total we came, and we are able to access average also. Means two values this method has returned. Using with the help of out parameters, we are able to access, we are able to take the multiple values from the method without using the return keyword. With the help of out keyword, out parameters, it is returning multiple values, 145 and 72. See, you can see this, right? 145 and 72. Okay, this is known as an out parameter. I think this is very standard point of interview question also, and even in our coding we will use this frequently. So this is very important to remember. Today's what we discuss all are the top interview concepts and very top concepts about the methods, right? Pass by values. Second one is pass by reference. And third one is what we say out parameters. Out parameters. So these are the three important things. Okay, just I will copy this code so that I will share in the three important concepts we are seeing today. Okay. And one more thing, the last concept we will see today, and we will wind up another 10 minutes. Another comes here is that you might have observed till now what we did, we are passing only values, one value, single values we are passing, right? I'm passing single values, but in some scenarios I have an array of numbers. Array of number of the size 5. That array I need to pass here. Okay, I need to pass an array now. How we can pass an array? Here I am passing then array. So till now we are passing by this reference. What we are doing, we are passing only single values. Subject 1 contains only one value, subject 2 contains only one value. But I want to pass an array. In the case, to pass an array, we have to go with another type called as an params. Params is a keyword. It will help you to pass in multiple values. Okay, we'll see here. Just we remove this. What I'm saying, I want to pass an array. You can see the params came from the inclusions. Then pass a number. What are the values you are going to pass? They pass that. Here what we're doing, we're passing an array now. It's an empty array as of now. Okay, we pass. Here we remove this. Okay, why it is giving error? Again, we are doing the same mistake like the previous one. Walk mistake. We have to mention the data type also, right? Previous what we used to mention, number, integer, all those things. But now, what we are passing an array. So the data type we have to mention integer of type array. Integer of type array we have to mention in the method parameters. Okay. So it's now empty array. Even we cannot see the values. So we'll add some values now. How to add the values to the array? Static values. Array starts with index 0. Array of 0 is some value. Right. Array of index 1. Three. Okay. Here we can see this. Just remove this. Array. Passing an arrays. Passing an array value using params in method. Okay. Here we can see that console length. So when we got an array, we can calculate the rank, right? What is the length for that? A number, the array object dot length. If you want to see the values, you go with the for each loop in of I in where it is in from numbers. Just go for it. Console.writeLine. Okay, just click debug it. Press on the start. So in the array is created with index with size of 5. So 5 values we are storing. Okay, sorry. There's a problem of copy paste. If you're not modifying, it will be the same as the previous one. Okay. We have stored the 5 values. I'm calling the method. See, in our sessions from the last 2 days, we are seeing the method, but the first time we are passing an array to the object. Sorry, array to the method. So directly we cannot pass an array. For that, what we need to use? We need to use params keyword. This params keyword says that this number contains an integer array. So even by mentioning the data type, we have to say it is integer array. So we have to use this array when mentioning the parameters. You can see this, we got the values. When we got the values and the remaining all same, like we have seen in the how we are handling the arrays while displaying the length and the values. It's iterating for the 5 times. It is writing the values. Just click on the start. You can see, right? Passing an array values using the params in the method. The length is 5. All the values what we have mentioned in the main program that we are seeing in the sub program. So we are passing an array object. We are passing an array to the method using params keyword. Okay. So this is the regarding using the params keyword. Is that clear? So today what we have seen about the small examples, all are these are important. Pass by values, pass by reference, out parameters and the params.